Ms. Deborah Komini, Regional Director, UNICEF Bangkok, Mr. Shigeru Aoyaki, Regional Director, UNESCO Bangkok, Excellency Education Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank UNESCO and UNICEF for inviting me to participate in the second Asia Pacific Regional Education Minister Conference on SDG Education 2030. And I would like to take this opportunity to share my views on the transforming education and its systems after we all experience the impact of COVID-19 on the education sector and learning loss. Firstly, I would like to highlight on how COVID-19 affects the education and how we respond. Like other countries, Cambodia has made great effort to mitigate the impacts of COVID-19, especially to ensure healthiness and sustainable learning for all students. We have transformed education to be dynamic and responsive by using technology, but also paper-based distance learning, as well as TV and other digital tools in order to ensure continued learning for all the children. We also continue to improve school culture by reforming school, involving the community in school management. We also focus on new teaching method by applying blended learning and also a new form of assessment in order to develop 21st century skills. We also adapt participatory approach in school reform, restructuring the curriculum, make the curriculum shorter, but also more focused, more flexible. We also summarize the learning materials to ensure that the student can use those materials for self-study as well. And especially we promote the public-private partnership by involving the private sector in providing the e-learning platform for the children. Indeed, we also commend the work of the school teachers who work very hard to learn new technology, new skill in order to provide online learning. In some cases, the teacher have to travel to rural villages to create small group learning so that the student can use to learn during school closure. Indeed, we have prioritized our spending. We continue to speed up school reform. There are strong commitments in this regard, building institutional capacity, especially the teacher training reform should respond to the needs for the changing educational landscape. Also, to ensure that in the post-COVID recovery, we must also work hard to recover the learning loss. And indeed, we must build education system to be resilient in the future. Cambodia also promotes self-study by the student because not all the students have access to technology. As we have experienced the result of the grade 12 exam, that the combination of measures work well for the student. Secondly, I would like to highlight some priority in the education system. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed education forever. Indeed, the vaccination of the student and the children ensure that they are protected against COVID-19. And we must continue to invest in creating a safe school environment, especially focusing on sanitation and the health of student and teacher. Secondly, to implement blended learning. Thirdly, implement a bridge and flexible curriculum. Fourthly, the use of digital content for teaching and learning, especially for teacher training as well. And fifthly, we continue to focus on school reform to make school accountable to parents and community, transform school culture, and encourage community participation in school management and support for safe learning environment. I would like to reiterate that quality of teaching remain at the top priority for now and in the future, especially to meet the SDG standard. Indeed, we must look at how we can build a strong teacher training institution and also provide more incentive for the best and the brightest to become teacher. And also we must look at how to retain them in the teaching profession, especially by creating career pathway for the teacher, for the leadership, school leadership, as well as for the specialists. Moreover, the world after COVID-19 requires new skill set, especially the digital skill and a new skill to solve the challenges of the 21st century. Therefore, education must be transformed to reskill and upskill graduates to get ready for the rapidly changing job market. We must link school and university to the ecosystem, to the private sector, especially the entrepreneurial ecosystem, to ensure that the student and the graduate know how to solve real-world problems. And university business linkages by developing joint project and research. We also must update continuously curriculum in order to respond to the new needs of the workforce of the future. We must also adopt an innovative and flexible micro-credential model for technical education. We must promote lifelong learning for everybody, for the teachers, for the lecturers, as well as for the student, including for the school principal. We must encourage the student to learn how to learn by observing others, build self-confidence and self-efficacy. They must learn to work in team, to get motivated, to get curiosity and grits. Especially mentors from university should help students in the secondary education to become self-regulated learner. In this regard, I would like to call upon all the key stakeholders to work together closely, underscored by the principle of partnership. Cambodia would like to thank all the loan partners for their support during the COVID-19 pandemic, and also working together with all the key stakeholders, including the private sector, allow us to move forward. I especially would like to thank UNESCO, UNICEF, and other actors for working together with the Ministry of Education during support of Cambodia in order to transform education system in responsive to meet the needs of achieving SDG goal. Last but not least, I would like to wish you all good health and fruitful deliberation during the conference. Thank you for your kind attention.